Hello everyone, it's Trevor G. Blake from trevorgblake.com, and this is a continuation of the discussion about the law of attraction. My first video garnered quite a bit of interest, which I'm pleased about, because that's a reflection of what we do at trevorgblake.com. We have a membership group called the Guild. A guild is a group name or a group noun for a gathering of wizards, because we're all wizards, and every one of you watching this is a wizard, or has the potential to be one. You were born as one. You may have forgotten it, but it's time to reawaken to that. That's what I'm all about. And the definition of a wizard is someone who can create magic. And the definition of magic is very, very simple. It is the conversion of one form of energy into another form of energy within the laws of nature under the power of will. And that's it. And that's what we do. Excuse me if you're spinning around, it's a little breezy up here. I've got this computer on a perilous place. So that's all that magic is, conversion of one form of energy into another, and that's what we're about. And what we do in the Guild is we are not a place like you would go to a kind of Tony Robbins show or something, and there's a guy in a smart Armani suit on stage who's telling you this is how you should live your life, and if you follow what I say, maybe you'll be looking at 10% of what I've got. That's not what we do. It's a group of people, of like-minded people, who have these discussions about things like the dubious law of attraction and the dubious law of association, and we discuss it and we figure out, is there anything there or isn't there anything there, and how do we play with energy in a different way in order to become the best versions of ourselves. And it's a very grown-up, mature discussion, and we do it because we all want to be a better version of ourselves, and we can only do that with knowledge and facts and scientifically verifiable concepts. And so this is part 2 of the law of attraction discussion, and what I want to do is challenge that word law. The law of attraction is not a law. There is no scientific evidence for it. There are a few in the video. There are a few pop scientists and there's a few quantum physicists who are very carefully edited so that what they say fits the preconceived notion of what the book wants to be. But it isn't a law. A law is something that stands up to challenging scientific rigorous testing. A law is something that has to pass through the complicated mathematics to be proven, and it can't be broken. So there are laws, and as you know, I follow the laws of energy, but more importantly, the laws of energy are called the laws of thermodynamics, and they're 100 years old, and they've been tested 1,000 times by 1,000 brilliant minds, and it stands up to the rigorous testing, and the maths works out. And the law of thermodynamics that we follow the most closely in the Guild and in transformation is that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. All the energy that ever existed exists. This is an irrefutable fact. But energy can be converted from one form into another, from energy into material or emotion and backwards. This is an irrefutable fact. The maths backs it up. It's okay to call thermodynamics the laws of thermodynamics, and that's what we follow. It's not okay to call like attracting like a law of attraction. There is no law. It hasn't been rigorously studied. It hasn't had the scientific testing. It is not a law. It's a concept. And it's a debatable one, and it's healthy to debate it. I go back to my original premise. If there is such a thing as a law of attraction and a law of association, if there is such a thing as Think and Grow Rich, which is originally called To Get the Noodle, Use Your Boodle, I think. No, to get the boodle, use your noodle. That's it. What a terrible title that is. It's all marketing, you know. And I'm sure the law of attraction wasn't originally called the law of attraction, same as 3 Simple Steps wasn't originally called 3 Simple Steps. Good publishers have good marketers. If hundreds of millions of people have read Think and Grow Rich and The Secret, how come there are only 2,755 self-made billionaires in the world, most of whom probably never read either book? It doesn't stand up to even the least rigorous scientific test. And because of that, I want to challenge it, because I meet so many people who are so frustrated because they've read those books, and then what? They feel better about their life they have, but what they want is a better life. What we do at trevorgblake.com is we use science to provide real tools and techniques that can help us get out of quicksand and become better versions of ourselves. Bring back the individual we were meant to be. The genius the superlative wizard that we were born to be, that somehow got lost along the journey to wherever you are now. And everyone who goes through it gets that experience, because you can't unlearn the knowledge. Things can only change. So I was very pleased that there was a lot of feedback to the first video, and I appreciate everybody who took the time to leave a comment, not just on the YouTube site, but also through the various channels that end up at trevorgblake.com. It was a very healthy debate. A lot of support, which I appreciate, but also some challenges, which I actually appreciate more. And I picked out 2 really excellent comments, and I wanted to comment on the comments, if you like. So I brought them with me so that I don't mash them up. So the first one is from somebody with the most wonderful pseudonym called ShinySilverBunny. It makes you just want to know that person. So I'll read it out word for word, and I want to comment on it, okay? So it says, your video just came on my feed, and I appreciate your objective thinking here, and it's worth considering. I learned not to go along with just law of attraction because there are so many other laws that are in play, and you can't favor one above the other, as they all are needed to work together. Other laws, okay? We'll come back to that. No one talks about the law of sowing and reaping, the law of expectation, all the physics laws that you're aware of. I expect good things to happen because I set that intention. Even if something bad might happen, I take something good out of it to be transformed and used as a lesson of wisdom. Wisdom is required to learn and keep these laws of energy and metaphysics. The law of association is huge. It's in capital letters. And I also never hear anyone talk about it. This is the law that says you are the average of the 5 people you hang around, or the content you consume or read, which is why I'm always feeding my mind. The first step of sowing and reaping, with the teachings of successful people who have peace and physical health and inner joy and contentment. I'm following more people who activate discipline and not just fluff that this discipline rubs off. Anyway, I'm interested to learn more from your perspective and work. So because you've asked for more, then I'm going to comment on that. So ShinySilverBunny, brilliant comment, really appreciate it, but I want to challenge your use of the word laws, okay? So let's pick the one that you say is huge in capital letters, just as an example, okay? The law of association. You say that we're the average of 5 people we hang around. Sorry, I have never experienced that. My 5 closest people, the people I hang around the most, are not entrepreneurs, they're not writers, and they don't understand magic or even want to understand magic. There's a nurse, there's a homemaker, there's a personal assistant, there's an interior designer, and I guess you could say this person is an entrepreneur but an artist. So if I'm to be the average of those 5 people, what am I doing here in this YouTube video? Because I'm an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, built and sold a load of companies. I'm a best-selling author. I'm currently making a movie. Surely if I'm the average of the 5 people, I should have people around me who are also doing those things, but 2 are doing them better than me and 2 are doing it not so well. The law of association would therefore indicate that there are 5 Jeff Bezoses in the world, and 5 Bill Gates, and 5 Mother Teresas, and 5 Dalai Lamas. 2 of whom are great, 2 of whom not so good, and 1 in the middle. It doesn't stand up. It's not a law. It's an idea. It's interesting. It's the sort of idea that should make you sit up and say, that's really interesting. Is there anything to that? A bit like that book that talks about to be successful at anything, you need to, practice for 10,000 hours. I didn't practice for 10,000 hours to be an entrepreneur. I just tried to fix something and I turned into an entrepreneur. I didn't practice for 10,000 hours writing rubbish before I wrote a book that was successful. I just sat down one day and thought, I'm going to write this. It's important. So these laws aren't laws. They're ideas that are worth bringing up and discussing, but they're not laws. The law of expectation is not a law. The law of attraction is not a law. What you say in your message here really warms my heart, and first of all, and I appreciate you taking the time to do it. I also don't think what you reap what you sow is a law either. It's a badly mistranslated biblical quote, by the way. The Bible, as everyone knows, the Bible most people use today, the King James Bible, has 24,000 mistranslations, some deliberate, some accidental. It's not good reading. And if you're interested in that, go to Transformation, because we talk about that a lot, and we get into the original meaning of a lot of religious text, and that gives you tremendous inspiration, because it was originally designed to bring the kingdom of God from within to without, so that we could be creators. But I'm getting off topic slightly. But you do say that you read the books of the successful, and that's all I did to get onto this path. When I was younger, I was thirsty for biographies of people who were successful, and I wanted to know, how did they get out of their version of quicksand and become so successful? And that's where I found the patterns of behavior that became the 3 simple steps. I probably now in hindsight should have called it the law of the 3 steps. And maybe more people would have found it, more people would have picked it up. It's just marketing. But thank you for your feedback. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully this helps a lot of people. You also mentioned the word discipline, and I totally agree. You don't, in my opinion, you don't have to believe in any of this. You just have to do it. You don't have to believe that meditation works. You don't have to believe that immersing yourself in this beautiful nature works. Getting these wonderful vistas and being around this. I'm in a wilderness area right now. It doesn't look it behind me because they've built on it. But up over here, there's a big sign saying, don't go any further alone, because there's actually, it's just here. I can show it to you. If you can see it. You see that sign there? It says, don't go there alone because of mountain lions and rattlesnakes. It's a beautiful wilderness area. You don't have to believe that being in places like this are magical and can inspire you and help you produce winning ideas. You just have to do it. That's it. Discipline is so important. So, ShinySilverBunny, who I really want to meet because of your name, thank you so much for the feedback, and I hope the conversation continues and that this is useful. And then there was another one by somebody called movierun, and it says, I also have never liked the phrase law of attraction. And I too have some criticism for The Secret, but I don't think it's fair to compare this terminology to the laws of physics involving charged particles, negative and positive, or magnetic poles, north and south. I don't think I mentioned magnetic poles. If I did, you're quite right. It's irrelevant. Where like charges repel and opposites attract, to me this is a matter of semantics. Okay, so let's put ourselves in a situation where I started out in poverty, but had a dream and set an intention of being a multimillionaire. There's no likes there. They're complete opposites. I macro reflected the micro. In the micro world, like charges repel, opposites attract. I did that in the macro world. So I disagree with you, but I'd like to have more discussion about it. Maybe, you know, sometimes making comments on YouTube columns and stuff like that, there's not enough room for debate. So you should be in the guild, and we should be having this debate live on one of our guild meetings every month. In my metaphysical concept of manifesting, you create in your mind an intention, an idea or picture, and especially a feeling in capital letters, and I love that. That warms my heart so much, music to my ears, because it's all about feeling. Every sage I've studied, every religious icon, every successful entrepreneur talks about feeling success before you get it. What does it feel like? It's very powerful. Thank you for bringing it up. The feeling of something you want to manifest in the physical world. You also cultivate a belief in the manifestation, and you put belief in capital letters as well. And I think belief comes. So in 3 simple steps, I have 3 levels of desire. First of all, there's desire. Things improve a little bit, but it's random. And then there's belief, and things improve a little more in a direct way, but still don't get you where you want to go. And then you get to a sense of knowing. And in transformation and the guild and all that, that's what we aim at. That's what we get to. When you get through transformation, you arrive at a place of knowing. It's very hard to describe in words. Women know it more than men, because women will just say, I just know. And we say, well, how do you know? I just know. And so it's all about getting to that point of just knowing. So I think belief is important, but I think you have to go through that to a higher level. Then you follow your instincts, spot on, and take action on those instincts and interact with the world that will help you bring about your desires. So in this sense, like attracts like, simply because you should be manifesting the same thing you're intending. And I would say that's semantics, but it's a fair point. My point is that it isn't really about charged particles. You yourself say here that all thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies. Isn't that saying that like attracts like? Semantics again in parentheses. I just don't think we should get too hung up on the expression law of attraction. By the way, I'm a big fan of your work, breath of fresh air in the manifesting field, so thank you for that. I probably 75% agree with what you're saying. I think we're saying the same thing, and it probably is semantics, but I would love to have more conversation. And that's why I do these YouTube videos. So to ShinySilverBunny and movierun, I really do appreciate you taking the time to make thoughtful comments and keep the debate and the discussion going, which is why I'm doing this YouTube video as part 2 of Law of Attraction. If you like this conversation, you like this debate, then please hit the subscribe button so more people can be aware of it, because this is a mathematical algorithm. And also, people do thumbs up and thumbs down. I don't understand that, because if you go, well, first of all, when you go back to ancient Rome, thumbs down meant the person survived, and thumbs up meant you stuck your short dagger up the sternum and died. So it's I find it quite funny when I go on Facebook and I see all these likes and all this, all these thumbs up. You know, in ancient Rome, that would be death. So I think the thumbs up shouldn't be whether you like what somebody says or whether you agree with what somebody says. I think it should be that you like the debate, that you like bringing this out into discussion, that this is healthy, because all we all want is to be the better version of ourselves. What we don't want is some guy stood with a view behind him saying, this is the law, because it's not. What you want is a group of people saying, how can we play with energy in a better way? And even if you disagree with everything I said in this video, but you like the fact that we're having this discussion, having this debate, then that should be a thumbs up, right? So if you're putting a thumbs down because you don't agree, that's wrong. Okay? You put a thumbs down because you don't think this is worth talking about. I think it's a double thumbs up to have these conversations, because we all want to be the better version of ourselves. And I'm not saying that the book, The Non-Law of Attraction, is worthless. I did throw it in the trash can, but that's just me. There'll be things in there that maybe you've never read before, never thought about before, and that would be useful. But when you do that, same with 3 Simple Steps. When you read 3 Simple Steps, it's not a law. You should read 3 Simple Steps and you should say, this is interesting, I want to know more, I want to go deeper, and I want to challenge it. And that's the healthy part of scientific research, is we challenge. And we don't call them laws unless they're proven to be so. So that's my diatribe for today. I hope it's useful. And thanks for tuning in. And as I have in all of my companies, I have a mantra. I don't believe in mission, vision, values. That's for the old school masculine energy thing. We're in a feminine energy period now. That's not a gender conversation, it's an energy conversation. And so the mantra in all of my companies is make a positive difference in someone's life. Have fun doing it, or else what's the point?